Welcome to FM Tuition Academy. Are you a parent who has come across this video? Okay, you can, if you have got a child who is a grade 10, 11 and 12, or you're grade 10, 11 and 12, and then you have seen this video, you want to do online tuitions, you can WhatsApp us on this number. Okay, you can WhatsApp us on this number so that you can start your online tuitions. We teach you so that you're able to pass your exams. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button there's a button written subscribe there. Make sure you click it, hit the subscribe button. Okay, so grade 10s, 11s and 12, this is for you. You actually need this because it comes in your exam. Okay, so those ones want to do online tuitions, you can WhatsApp us on that number. We'll be able to help you so that you can effectively understand and prepare for your exam for the online tuitions, grade 10, 11 and 12. Just contact that number, WhatsApp that number. Okay, now today we are dealing with a topic in biology called cells. Okay, but under cells we'll be looking at a detailed structure of a cell. A detailed cell. Okay, a detailed cell. So there are certain things that I want to do for you so that you can understand. For example, this is a detailed cell. Okay, so it could either be a plant cell or an animal cell, but I just want to show you something. So this is the way the detailed cell looks like. Okay, it looks like this. Okay, a detailed cell, so to understand how it looks like. For example, you remember in chapter 1 I was teaching you about the basic cell. Now this one is a little bit detailed. So a cell has got this kind of, inside when you magnify it, this is a cell. It has got this type of flattened vessels like this. What are they called? You need to know them. What are they called? What are these flattened vessels called? They look like this. These I'll name them as the 1 so that you don't get confused. These ones I'll just say 1 so that I demarcate the difference. These, what are they called? They are called, these ones are called, so I'll label them 1. These ones are called Golgi bodies. Golgi bodies. What is their function? Okay, so Golgi bodies, these are flattened vesicles. Okay, responsible for the transportation of proteins from site of synthesis to reaction site. Okay, So Golgi bodies, these are flattened vesicles rather. Flattened vesicles responsible for the transportation of proteins from the site of synthesis to reaction site. So they transport proteins. When I say proteins, I mean proteins like enzymes. Okay? When I mean proteins that they're transporting proteins like enzymes. So these proteins that they're transporting, they transport proteins like proteins like enzymes. Okay? That is their role. Golgi bodies transport proteins like enzymes from the point where they are produced to the point where they react. Okay? From the point of synthesis to the point of reaction. So the Golgi bodies, their role is just to transport proteins. They transport proteins, not just transporting proteins, don't get confused. They transport proteins from the site of synthesis to the site of reaction. Okay? You need to know they are specific. They transport proteins, such as the proteins that they transport is enzymes. Okay? Enzymes. These are the proteins they're transporting. The proteins they are transporting is actually enzymes. Okay? Don't get confused when you say, oh, what proteins are they transporting? On proteins there you can put proteins, open bracket, enzymes. On proteins you can put enzymes. Okay? You can put proteins in bracket enzymes. So these are flattened vesicles responsible for the transportation of proteins. You see? Transportation of what? Proteins from the site of synthesis to reaction, to the reaction site down there. I haven't cancelled it, I'm just showing you because there's no space there. But this is to the reaction site. Okay? Once you don't put transportation of proteins from the site of synthesis to site of reaction, it means that's not their function. You don't just say it is responsible for transporting proteins. No. It is responsible for transporting proteins such as enzymes. The proteins I'm talking about here, they are enzymes. In bracket, I can put enzymes. Okay? Enzymes. That's what we are dealing with. Okay? Enzymes. So these proteins here, since there's no space, what I'm saying, proteins, you can put enzymes. Proteins and enzymes in brackets. So they transport proteins such as enzymes from the site of synthesis to the site of reaction, or to the reaction site. So these are the ones I'm talking about. These are called Golgi bodies. Okay? Golgi bodies. So this is the detailed structure. Now, there are also the things that look like this. They usually look like this. You see, it looks as if it's one thing. Okay? And then even here, they look like this. They go like that. Before I even do those ones, there are these ones that look like dots. I'll use black. They look as, okay, I'll use red. These ones, they look as if they are dots, like this. Like that. They're everywhere. Like that. What do you call these? These are ribosomes. These are ribosomes. Ribosomes. So these are ribosomes. So these ones are called ribo. Okay, let me put it down there because of space. So these are called ribosomes. Okay, I'll name these ones as part 2. These two my I'll use the red. Okay, so this is part 1, this is 1, and then 2, ribosomes. So what is the function of the ribosomes? Ribosomes. What is the function of the ribosomes? These are ribosomes are responsible for the production of proteins in the cell. So what they do, they just produce proteins. Ribosomes, their function, those machines that look as if they are dots. They could be black, they could be green, whatever. They're just dots inside the cell. They are everywhere. They're just dots inside. They could be in black, they could be in red, they could be in pink, any color. They're just dots inside. So they're used for the production of proteins. Okay? And then these two, the ones that I'm just from drawing, these two, what are they used for? So there is one that has got ribosomes on it. Like, have you seen these are mirror images? There's this one on top and this one, but this one has got ribosomes on it. Okay, it has got ribosomes on it like this. Okay, the other one doesn't. It has got ribosomes on it or around it, everywhere. It has ribosomes on it. The one that has got ribosomes on it, this one, the one on top, is called a rough. Because of the ribosomes, it is called a rough endoplasmic reticulum. It's called a rough endoplasmic reticulum. This one, this thing, the one that looks as if the one I'm just from drawing, there are 2 of them. But this one, the one that has got ribosomes on it. Okay, it has got ribosomes around it. Can you see? I've put ribosomes around it. So the one that has got ribosomes, this one is called smooth because there's nothing on it. Now, the one that has got ribosomes, what is it called? This one is called a rough endo. A rough endo is called a rough. It's called a rough endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, endoplasmic reticulum. I see. Endoplasmic reticulum. So that part is called a rough. Why is it rough? Because they've got ribosomes on it. Okay, it has got these red things that are put around it. These red things are called ribosomes. So because it has got these ribosomes, it also transports what? This one transports what? It transports proteins. Ribosomes produce proteins, but it's a site for protein synthesis. Remember what I said? Ribosomes, they are responsible for the production of proteins. When I say production of proteins, what I mean is the production of proteins for ribosomes. I'm going back to ribosomes. The production of proteins means protein synthesis. Protein synthesis. Sometimes they can use this. So if they tell you which part of the cell is responsible for protein synthesis, you should know it's ribosomes, because to synthesize, it means to produce. Production. That's why I was saying they are responsible for the production of proteins in the cells. Okay? The ribosomes. Remember, I've just wanted to clarify something. So on the proteins, on the ribosomes, sorry, the ribosomes are used for protein synthesis, which means to produce. To synthesize, it means to produce proteins. Okay? But after they are produced, they're supposed to be transported That's where now the rough endoplasmic reticulum is used for now. So what does the rough endoplasmic reticulum do? The rough endoplasmic reticulum, what is it used for? It is a network of membranes. Network of membranes for the transportation of proteins. The network of membranes for the transportation of proteins. For the transportation of proteins. You see, these ones, they transport proteins. You see, the rough endoplasmic reticulum, it's responsible for, it's a network of membranes for the transportation of proteins. This rough endoplasmic, it only transports proteins, but the ribosomes do not transport, they produce proteins. So they are there for the production of proteins, the synthesizing of proteins. The ribosomes, they synthesize proteins, meaning they produce proteins. So don't get them confused. One produces, the other one transports. So rough endoplasmic reticulum, it transports proteins. It transports. You see? But for ribosomes, they synthesize proteins, meaning they produce proteins. And then you remember when you're dealing with Golgi bodies, we said Golgi bodies is also used to transport proteins, but the proteins that are transported there are specific. They are enzymes. In the Golgi body, we said they are enzymes being transported from the site of synthesis to the site of reaction. So I've explained the difference, so you don't need to get confused. And then this one is called the smooth. So this one is number what? Number 3. Okay, this part is number 3. This is number 3. This part is number 3. Okay, which I was explaining here. I mean under this, so it's number 3, as I said. This number 3. So this is part number 3. What about part number 4? Let me explain part number 4. This one, this part number 4. Okay, what is it called? You see, both of them are endoplasmic reticulum, but this one doesn't have ribosomes on it. These two red ones doesn't have, there are no red ones attached to it. So this one is called the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Smooth. Okay, smooth is called the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, what is it used for? It's also, so this is number 4. So the smooth endoplasmic reticulum, the smooth endoplasmic reticulum is used for, it is responsible for, so it is responsible for the transportation of lipids. S at the end. Lipids. Okay, for the transportation of what? Lipids. In case you didn't see, it is lipids. So the smooth endoplasmic reticulum transports lipids. It is specific because there are no ribosomes on it, so it can't transport proteins. It only transports lipids. Okay? It only transports lipids. Yeah, transports lipids. Okay. And then lastly, there is the one that looks like a sausage. So sometimes they can ask you which part in the cell looks like a sausage. It's called, it looks like this. It's like a sausage. It has got a shape of a shape of a sausage, like. Okay. So this one looks. Let me use another. Okay, let me use this one. So it looks like a sausage, like this. Okay. And then like this inside. Okay, like that. It looks like a sausage. This one is called the mitochondria. Mito is one word, so don't get confused. It is actually called it is called mitochondria. Mitochondria. Mitochondria or mitochondrion, it's the same thing. Mitochondria or mitochondrion. Okay? Mitochondria or mitochondrion. Okay? Mitochondria or mitochondrion. Okay? Mitochondria or mitochondrion. Okay? This is responsible for this is part number what? Number 5. Since I was labeling them. This is part number 5. This is part number 5. So what is the function of mitochondrion? The mitochondrion, what is responsible? Part number 5. Mitochondrion. It is the place where it is a place in the cell where respiration takes place and energy is produced. Okay? Sometimes it's even called the powerhouse. Why is it called the powerhouse? Because that's where energy is produced. So sometimes it's called the powerhouse. Okay? The mitochondria is called powerhouse. So sometimes they can ask you which part of the cell is referred to as a powerhouse. It is a mitochondrion. Why is it referred to as a powerhouse? Because it is a site or the place in the cell where respiration takes place. So when respiration wants to happen in a cell, it will take place in the mitochondrion. Okay? So you need to understand those functions. You need to know them by heart. They can ask you which, and I said it is sausage-like in structure. This same thing is sausage-like in structure. Sausage-like in structure. Okay? Sausage-like. This is like sausage-like structure. So sometimes they can ask you which part in the cell is sausage-like in structure. You should know that it is a mitochondria. They can ask you which part in the cell is referred to as powerhouse, mitochondria. Which part in the cell is responsible for respiration, mitochondria. Which part in the cell is responsible for the producing of energy is mitochondria. They can ask you sometimes, not on the mitochondria, they can also ask you on the ribosomes. They can say, on these ribosomes here, they can say which part in the cell is responsible for protein synthesis. It is ribosomes. Which part in the cell is responsible for the transportation of proteins? It is rough endoplasmic reticulum. See? Responsible for the transportation of lipids, smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Golgi bodies are used to transport proteins from point of synthesis to point of reaction. I hope you have understood and your mind has learned. So those ones want to do tuitions, online tuitions, make sure you WhatsApp the following numbers. This is 095 333 1204 or 0979 22 20 76. You can WhatsApp any of those so that you're able to be assisted with online tuitions. Thank you for tuning and listening. This is FM Tuition Academy. Keep on encouraging your friends to join us so that we'll be able to assist them and they pass their exams.